What's up, everybody? It's your boy, it's Elliot. Welcome back to another take here at Esports with Elrod. Today we're going to be breaking down the Halo teams for the Anaheim event coming up. Now, I don't have all the teams that are going to be playing, because that would just be way too long of a list. But I have about 10 teams here, 12 teams here, that we're going to rank from Tier A to Tier F, and we're really going to see how this ages at the end of the Anaheim event. But this is going to be the tier list. This is going to be the most accurate tier list. This is the best tier list out of all the Halo content creators. This is going to be the best one. So if you would, before the video gets started, before we really get into it, go ahead, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know your tier list from A, B, C, D, and let's see what ranks up in the video, and let's see if you're picking up what I'm putting down, and if I'm picking up what you're putting down in the comments down. So first off to bat, let's go ahead, we'll go with status quo over here in the right corner. Status Quo has Flamesword, has a couple OGs on that team, and honestly, they're not playing bad. However, I don't think they're going to be, the team ultimately to beat for the Anaheim event. I'm going to put them in C, and I'm going to put them in C, knocking on the door of B, simply because I see this team playing very, very well, but not being able to make it into like the top 6. So I can't put a team that can't make the top 6 into the C. So next we'll go to Quadrant Gaming. Quadrant Gaming is owned by Landon Norris. He's a Formula 1 driver. He's very popular over in Europe. And this team, I think, has the cleanest skin, or like concept skin for Quadrant Gaming. I think it's just so clean. It's like a carbon fiber black with like neon green, this quadrant green, yellow kind of as accents. It's like a chef's kiss. And they played very well. They beat Ascend. Did they beat Ascend? Can't remember if it was 3-2 Quadrant. Actually, I think Ascend beat them 3-2. Nevertheless, Quadrant Gaming, for just coming together a few weeks before the event to come out of pool play and place as well as they did, I'm going to put them in the same spot with with Status Quo, just because I think they're a good team. I don't think you can sleep on them, because if you come out slow, you're going to be 0-2 before you know it, and then it becomes infinitely harder to overcome from being 0-2 and doing a reverse sweep. Next, let's go to G2 Esports. G2 Esports actually played pretty well. I believe they placed higher than Quadrant and Status Quo, so I'm going to have to place them higher on this list simply because of that. But at the same time, I really want them on the board of kind of B and C. The reason why I say that is because, once more, they're not a top 6 team. They're not a top 5 team. So I can't put a top, something that's past 5 in the A or S tier category, because that is something that shouldn't just be thrown out. And I'm not a competitor, so I have no dog in the fight. I have no, bias for my friends who are competing, because I don't know any of these guys well enough to call them my friends. If I'm going to be biased to anything, it's going to be towards Optic, but, we'll do that next. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to put, Optic kind of in the middle of the A and the B. They're like a B++, A- team, simply because they have the talent. Lucid, Trippy, APG, Pistola. That's a solid squad. And for people who hate on APG, really look at that guy play. He's not going out and slaying like Lucid. He's doing the dirty work to allow guys like Lucid, guys like Pistola, the Wizard himself, to do those phenomenal things. Having guys like Trippy and APG who are doing the dirty work, who are putting a lot of that on their back, you got to give it hats off to that and tip them. But I'm part of the Green Wall. I'm not saying that I'm signed by Optic. They're my favorite team. In Call of Duty, it's content creation, Hex, Scuff, all of those guys. From the Call of Duty side to the content creation side, Hitch, Team Summertime, I love this organization and the guys who are affiliated with it. And I want to put them in the S tier. But S tier has to be like the top of the top, the cream of the crop. And when Halo Infinite first came out, Optic was up there. They were winning. I think they won both the qualifiers for the December event, and then I don't want to say shit the bed, but they just underperformed in the LAN event. And then this past qualifiers, the same thing. They came back, played the Sentinels, and unfortunately were not able to overcome those obstacles. And at the end of the day, if you're gonna want to win and you're gonna want to play with the tall boys, you gotta learn how to walk the tall grass. Okay, now, we're skipping all over the place, but let's go ahead and jump right into Space Station Gaming. Space Station Gaming is a weird one because they played very well. I believe they are a top 6 team. I think they're 6. They had to pick up a gentleman named Tusk, who was originally on SSG, who was replaced by Formal when Formal was playing with Space Station Gaming and looking like he was going to play, the season potentially with Space Station Gaming. However, he wound up joining the Sentinels, which was a fantastic move for Formal to be able to play with an organization and players of that caliber. It was a great move for him. But it kind of left PlayStation Gaming in a weird spot. And honestly, I'm going to kind of put them in the same spot as I'm putting Optic right now. Simply because even with that, picking up somebody, having a few weeks just to prepare, not even a few weeks, like a week and a few days to prepare with Tusk, who's originally part of that team. So it was more like just kind of re-gelling and getting old chemistry back, which would, not take as long. They still play well, and still I don't know if they're going to have the firepower to beat some of these A and S tier teams that we're going to be getting to. But before we get into that, we got to talk about Navi. Navi is really gonna have to step it up. Navi is a part of the actual HCS Halo Pro team that don't have to come out of pool play. But unfortunately, they kind of looked like that. They looked like a pool play team, a bunch of guys and girls who wanted to go out and have fun, compete, and see what happened. Please excuse the blowers outside. I guess it's winter. I don't know what leaves they're blowing. What the heck? But I'm gonna have to see Navi do something at the Anaheim event to really impress me. I'm putting them on like a C- because they're not completely an F tier. The next team that we'll do will break down why they're an F tier. I don't want to put Navi as that because they're not bad. They're bad, but they're not that bad. They're not in a state of shambles. Because the next team that we're going to talk about, the Fanatics, they're not in a good spot. They're part of the actual HCS Pro team. You can go buy a Fanatic skin in the shop. I don't think they actually have a team rostered or signed or contracted. On Twitter, a few weeks ago, at the beginning of the new year of 2022, they hinted that a roster was going to be coming. I have not seen a Halo roster. I have not seen anything yet. If you guys know who their players are, please send it to me so I can do an update video on this. But as of right now, they're F because they don't even have a team to compete. Like, what the heck? And, I mean, Fanatics, it's F and ATICS. Like, it literally starts with F. They're an F tier team. They don't even have a team. So, like, they shouldn't even really be even on the list. I kind of feel bad. There's other teams that who should be actually a part of the HCS Pro organization. Like, a traditional Optic, because right now it's under Envy or LA Thieves. There's so many, like, good organizations. New York Subliners, even. I would love to see them enter the Halo scene and replace Fanatics, but, that's here nor there. I would like to see Fanatics, the European, I believe, German-based team. I wouldn't mind seeing them be able to compete. I like seeing the international competition, but it's a very weird one. And now, we're left with some interesting teams. We'll go ahead and talk about the Pioneers. The Pioneers, one of those teams that could actually pick up Fanatics Pro spot. They play great. They came out of pool play, and I believe they placed top 4, maybe even, top 4 or 5 at the event, right next to Optic. So literally, Pioneers and Optic Chicago are neck and neck, but I'm actually going to put the Pioneers in A. And the reason why I'm going to put the Pioneers in A is they're not supposed to be that good. They're not. They're not supposed to be a team that fought their way out of pool play and go head-to-head with teams like Sentinels, E United, FaZe, Optic, Cloud9. They should not have been able to compete. And they did. They not only competed, they beat some great teams, forcing them into the elimination round. And then when they got into the elimination round, they kept fighting their way back and almost crawled their way out of it. So with that being said, hats off to the Pioneers guys. I know Formal is going to be looking for a team. Maybe he could find himself a home there. Or maybe even with Status Quo, who we started this list out with. Now, I want to go to E United. E United is definitely an A-based team. There is no doubt in my mind that they deserve to be in the A category. They came in, Spartan, you got Ryu. Ryu's probably my favorite guy on there. But if you guys remember, Spartan is the one when they beat Atlanta FaZe and the elimination round to go back into the winner's grand final. Spartan came up and was like, you dropped me for him, whatever you guys suck. That was awesome. I still get goosebumps because that's what gaming is all about. That's what a LAN event is all about. When you smack the other person down, you stand up, you look them in the eyeballs, and let them know your parents messed up by bringing you here. Your girlfriend, your wife, they messed up for allowing you to come here. You should have been sent home because you're a trash kid. Like that, I love it because it's all fun and games. Like if you're taking that to heart and you actually go home and you believe any of that, you need to work on your mental game, because the mental game, especially in the highest level of athletics and sports, I don't care if it's football, I don't care if it's gaming, everyone can shoot straight, everyone can throw the ball, everyone can run fast, everyone knows the map, everyone knows the rules. It ultimately is the ones who are able to say, if I do this, you're going to react to this, which will allow me to do this. And when you are able to operate on that high of a frequency, whew, that's when you get scary. And E United is operating on that kind of frequency, because they are lights out. They're always competitive, and they're a top 3, top 2 teams. They really can. It's like these next few teams, it's like a coin flip. It really is just who's going to play better and who's going to start out hot. Because you can't start out slow with these last 3 teams. And honestly, this is interesting. So we'll go to Sentinels next, right? Well, I want to go to the Sentinels. The Sentinels now, they were playing with Formal, aka Matt. Matt Formal, I'll say it right now, my favorite gamer to ever pick up a controller. Whether it be Call of Duty, whether it be Halo, he's trolly, he's funny, he seems like a halfway decent human being. I'm sure he's great. But he's not a part of the Sentinels roster. Royal 2 was. Royal 2's in prison for cheating, and now he's out. And now the Sentinels get to play Anaheim with their original contracted roster, and I believe it's Lethal, Snakebite, Frosty, and now Royal 2. I have high expectations for this team, and I know they have high expectations of themselves. And honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Sentinels actually might win the whole Anaheim event. If not, they're going to be in the top 3. And it would be wild if they got 3rd. I could see them playing for 1st and 2nd. I could say the same thing about this FaZe team, though. The FaZe team, I'm going to have to put in the S tier. Because the FaZe team, they have Snipe Down, they have Boo Boo Doo Boo, they have Bound and Fallicated. Granted, on paper, that team is good. It's a good team. But they should not be performing as good as they are with the amount of time that they've had together, because they are playing lights freaking out. All the players know Halo, and all of them know the role, and all of them are fitting into the role. And whether you like Snapdown or not because of his personality, he does have a strong personality. I was talking to this on Facebook the other day too. It's hard because we only see the personality right now on this camera. Like, you guys only know me. If you don't know me in the real world, you only know me and how I interact in here. You guys don't know everything else that goes on. And sometimes when you get on like game mode and competitive mode, you become a different person, you know, especially like I play paintball. I play paintball at a very high level. When I put my mask on and step onto the field, excuse me, but I'm a motherfucker. I'm going out there to make sure that you never want to play on the other side of the field against me ever. You want to play on my team, because if you're not playing on my team, it's going to hurt and you're going to feel it. And I think Snipedown brings that same energy. When you're not playing with Snipedown, you're like, I don't want to play against him. This guy's AIDS. I don't know where he's at. He's always just one step ahead. That's a huge compliment. So I think Atlanta FaZe 1, 2, 3, they could be in any one of those spots, and it really does. Who comes out swinging? And then last but not least, we have Cloud9 Gaming. And if I can, there needs to be something past S. Like, for real. This needs to be like S+ tier. Because Cloud9 has been the most consistent team. They won the last Halo 5 event, and they came out and won the first LAN event, and then after that, they came out and won the qualifiers. They are on fire. They are playing together. Stellar and Renegade they're scary. That's a scary little duo right there. But the person who honestly has impressed me the most on that team is Penguin, or however you're going to say that name. And it's simply because, you know, experience-wise, he might not have the most amount of experience like Renegade or Stellar, and he might be newer to the pro scene. I don't say the competitive scene, but like the top-level pro scene. For them to be able to take a guy like that, see the talent, bring him into the program, give him the role that fits him the best, and allow him to grow and expand his game as a player and to fit well with that team, it's just like, I love seeing it. And I also love seeing the team that's just going to go down, sit down behind the screen, pick up the game, win or lose, get up, say GG's, and walk up the stage. You can't tell when they won or if they lost. They are just like robots, and that is honestly kind of scary to play against, because it's so, you can't go around and like teabag somebody once or twice and then throw them off because now you're in their head. They are like robots. They just live, do their job, die, respawn, go at it again. And obviously Renegade is top 3 individual players right now in Halo. But that's going to be my tier list for this video. That's going to be my tier list for the Anaheim event. Let me know what you guys think. Did I mess up any of these power rankings? Honestly, I think I did a pretty dang good job, not being biased because I am an Optic fan. I didn't even put them in as S tier, even though they have the players, the backing, the resources to be S tier. Until you play like you're S tier, they're just a really, really good A+ team. And right now, they're top 5. I'll go ahead and say it. I think my top 5 in order. Now we're going to say this. I got to give it to Cloud9. Cloud9's going to win. Not going to win. If I'm putting 1 through 5, I'm going to say Cloud9 first. Then I'm actually going to put Sentinel second. FaZe third. eUnited fourth with Optic. Even though I could see Optic beating eUnited and taking that 4th and dropping eUnited to 5th. Until they step up and do it, I can't give it to them, even though I really, really want to. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, guys over at Optic, if you see this, please use this as fuel to the fire and go out and win this damn event.